what's up? So this is going to be a kind of a quick review of why I decided to purchase the iVue Horizon Pro camera sunglasses. And so these are just an awesome pair of sunglasses with a camera in them. This is probably one of the best products I've bought in a couple years. I absolutely freaking love these things. And I'm basically just I'm not gonna do a complete tutorial on how to use them or all their features because a lot of other YouTubers have already put stuff out there on that. But what I am going to do is basically tell you why I chose the iVue Horizon Pro over the Pivotheads. Because I spent about 3 or 4 weeks researching all the different glasses out there, and basically it came down to those two brands. And after I tell you basically like why I eventually bought the Horizon Pro glasses, I'm also going to just go a little bit into some of the things I think they can improve on a little bit, because this is a friggin' awesome product, but it's only batting at 95%. It could be 100%. So just a couple of things at the end of this video I'm going to show you that I think the manufacturer could do to improve the glasses just a little bit, you know. Anyways, and that's one reason I'm actually making this video, is because I found that the manufacturer was really attentive to the customer's needs, and so I figured why not. Alright, so basically let's start off here. So some of the criteria that I was looking for in a camera when I began researching this, the first thing I wanted to find a pair of camera sunglasses that had like good quality footage, and by that I meant at least a 1080p recording, so it's 1920 by 1080 pixelation at 30 frames per second. And yeah, so the second criteria when I was looking for sunglasses, camera sunglasses, were I wanted to buy them from a well-established company, and by that I meant a company that was based here in the U.S., a company that had its own website. I wasn't going to buy some, camera glasses from some dude making camera glasses in his basement. I think if you have your own website, that means that you're a legit company. I wanted to make sure that the company already had an established product line of glasses or camera glasses or hidden camera products, something that showed that it already had some dealings in the business. And finally, I wanted to find a company that had other products and which had a lot of reviews on Amazon and YouTube, etc. So I know again that they're a legit company. So those were kind of the 4 things I was looking for in the company, in the brand name of the glasses that I wanted to buy. And the final thing is that I wanted to make sure that they looked like real glasses, and by that I meant that there was no wires sticking out or any kind of unnatural other features. For example, one of the glasses, it was a pretty good glass. It seemed like it was a pretty good pair of camera glasses, but it had some wires kind of sticking out the sides, and one that was just the thing in the middle of the recording was just this huge gaping hole to make it really obvious. And related to the look of the glasses, I wanted to make sure I wanted to buy a pair of glasses that was fairly inconspicuous, or the camera was unnoticeable, because I want to do a lot of like walking around in public kind of filming, and especially when I travel to Latin America, and I want something that doesn't really call out people's attention, and so they'll act naturally around you, and they won't feel that awkward kind of sense of, oh, I'm being filmed and blah blah blah, this that. So and I thought, so that's something else I was looking for in the glasses. Just to point out, it was a complete non-criteria for me. The price was not important. I was willing to spend $300. I didn't want to buy something that was going to be, I'd rather spend a lot of money on something that was expensive. I wasn't looking to save money at all. So if you are trying to pinch your pennies here and get a good bargain pair of glasses, don't watch this video, because this is about, I was looking to find a good quality pair of glasses, and that's why I eventually found for $170. Completely worth the price. And another thing the other feature I didn't really care about was its ability to live stream or have some sort of Wi-Fi capabilities. So I think all the rave these days is about cameras that have Wi-Fi connectivity to either your phone or to the internet, so that people watching from remotely can watch you in real time, and that just wasn't really important for me. So basically, all said and done, after I spent about 3 or 4 weeks checking out every single pair, like literally an hour every day, I was checking out all these websites, everything on Amazon, this, that, the third, watched hundreds of YouTube review videos on all the different camera glasses out there. Basically, it came down to 3 different products that I ultimately had to decide from, which was the Pivothead Original, it's a different brand. The other one was the Pivothead Smart, and the final one, which I ended up buying, was the iVue Horizon Pro glasses. So those were the 3 pair of glasses that kind of matched all the criteria I was looking for. So to basically compare the features of those 3 products a little, let's go into the first one, was the photo taking capabilities. So the Pivothead Smart and the Pivothead Original, they both had the capacity to take pictures, whereas the Horizon Pro did not. But this wasn't really too much of a factor for me. You know, it would have been a little bit of an add-on, a bonus, but I'm not really looking to take pictures with these. I want to use them to record. The other thing that was important was the appearance of the glasses. So, like I said, I wanted to find something that would be as inconspicuous as possible and as natural looking as possible. And so for the Pivothead Original, the original Pivothead series, they definitely had the most natural design, and their camera, which was located on the temple, was probably the smallest of the 3 cameras and therefore most inconspicuous. The Horizon Pro, which is the one that I actually ended up buying these babies. They were slightly more noticeable in terms of the camera, and a little slightly more awkward design, a little bulkier than the Pivothead Originals, but they were still acceptable. It wasn't really super obvious that they were camera glasses, and they had a pretty natural look to them. And the glasses that I was checking out with the most noticeable camera were the Pivothead Smart glasses, but even those were still acceptable. You know, it was a little more obvious than both of the other 2, but it was still, you know, a fairly natural looking pair of glasses. Another aspect of the appearance which was important to me was the lenses. So both of the Pivotheads, the Pivothead Smart and the Pivothead Original, they had colored lenses, kind of like flashier colored lenses that you could buy, though they were a little more expensive. They were add-ons at $30 a piece, I think. I don't know, maybe $20 a piece. But I probably would have liked to buy some if I had bought the Pivotheads. However, the iVue Horizon Pro did not offer any kind of does not offer any kind of colored lenses. It comes with 2 pairs of lenses, a pair of black lenses as well as a pair of clear lenses, but they do not offer any other lens colors that you can buy. And here's a picture of the Pivothead, some of the other colored lenses that you can buy. As you can see, it's kind of a aqua blue and aqua green kind of turquoise looking lenses. And I think that I would be interested in buying those just because, or getting something with different colored lenses, just because I think the more flashier the lenses are and stuff like that, the less noticeable the camera part is, and the more it's just kind of like, oh, look at these cool pair of glasses. And you might not even notice a little dot in the center. And so yeah, but unfortunately the iVue Horizon Pro did not offer similar colored lenses. So the other thing that was very important to me was the memory storage, and I'll compare all 3 right now. So the iVue Horizon Pro, $170, and the Pivothead Smart, both had the capacity both accepted micro SD cards up to 32 gigabytes, up to 32 gigabytes a piece. So you can see right here is the 32 gig, and they do not have, neither of those had any internal memory storage capacity. So the only way you could film is by buying a micro SD card and stick it in there. on the other hand, the Pivothead Original, the $200 pair, only had internal storage capabilities. You couldn't insert any kind of micro SD card, and it did not have a slot. And it was only 8 gigabytes. So that was, I think that would only get you about an hour's worth of footage. And the external memory was probably one of the most important features. I didn't and don't want a set of camera glasses with internal memory storage only. And here's the thing: is that if you have a product with only with internal storage, not with micro, that doesn't accept micro SD cards, then that means that in order to clear all the footage and make room for more footage, if you want to continue recording, the only way to do that is to hook it up to a computer and manually via that computer erase the current footage that's on there, or save and then erase the current footage that's on to your desktop, and then continue recording. I plan on doing a lot of traveling where I'm not going to be taking my computer with me for probably weeks at a time. And so if you're in a similar situation, you're going to go hiking. Let's say you want to go hiking and you think for maybe 2 or 3 weeks or backpacking, and you don't want to bring your computer, then that means that if you bought a set of camera glasses with only internal storage, you don't be able to get, like, maybe if you had 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which the other ones didn't, even then you'd only be able to get maybe like 4 hours out of them. And then you wouldn't be able to, if you didn't have your computer with you, you wouldn't be able to erase any more of the footage. And that would be it. But the thing is, if you buy something that takes external storage in the form of micro SD cards, say you go on that same backpacking trip, you're gone for 2 or 3 weeks, and you're not going to bring your computer. All you have to do is bring some extra micro SD cards, and basically when the first micro SD card of 32 gigs or whatever you bring fills up, you just pop it out and put the next one in, which is going to be blank, and so you can bring as many micro SD cards as you want to, and basically continue recording onto the new card. So then you could have maybe 8, 12, 16 hours of footage if you really wanted to during your 3-week backpacking trip where you're not going to bring your computer. So with all said and done, basically, I didn't really want to get the Pivothead Original, the $200 pair, because they only had internal storage, and they didn't accept micro SD cards. So basically, ultimately came down to getting either the iVue Horizon Pro glasses for $170 or the Pivothead Smart glasses for $300. And despite all the extra features of the Pivothead Smart glasses, the $300 pair of glasses, I just couldn't justify spending an entire $130 extra on those glasses just for those those extra features. So I chose the iVue Horizon Pro in the end. All right. That being said, like I said, so now I'm going to basically go into some of the issues and areas for improvement for these iVue Horizon Pro sunglasses. Like I said, this is definitely an awesome pair of sunglasses, but they're only batting at 95%. You gotta be at 100. So the first thing was the blinking lights for recording cannot be turned on and off. So let's see what happens when I hold the side button to turn these babies on for a couple seconds. Eventually this blue light turns on, and then it starts blinking, and when it's blinking, that's how you know that it is recording. But for every person who likes this feature, because I guess it lets you definitely know that you're recording, there's gonna be somebody else like me who doesn't like the fact there's a blue blinking light. Because first of all, it's gotta be draining, have at least some sort of drain on the batteries. Even if it's just a slight amount of drain, probably not that much, it's still draining something, at least. And second, when you're wearing them, sometimes you can see this little blue dot. And like I said, I want these to be as inconspicuous as possible, as unnoticeable as possible. I don't want them to call anybody's attention over a blue blinking dot or anything like that. So, don't really want the blue blinking dot for that reason either. the good thing about them is that, at least it is a little inconspicuous, but at least it's not too distracting. When I'm wearing them and it's blinking, I don't even really notice it, to be honest. Maybe a little bit, but it's not enough to really be bothersome. And you have to be like really sensitive for it to bother you. I don't actually see it blinking at all, really. But yeah, so basically, like a makeshift solution is, you just put some tape over it and that's that. But then you can't tell when it's turned on or off. When you initially turn it on, you wouldn't be able to see that the blue light turn on initially either. So I think what the real solution should be is just the manufacturer needs to make a change in the settings so that you could either have the constant blinking blue light, or you could have the blue light just turn on at the beginning to indicate recording went on, and then flashing at the end to indicate that recording stops. Or even better, if you had a third option, that just no blue blinking light at all. The second issue is that same thing. When you turn it on, you can see right here. This is a little Wi-Fi. I guess it has the capability not to connect to the internet, but at least it can remotely connect to your personal phone. So you could live stream to your own phone, not to other people's phones, as long as you're in immediate range of the Wi-Fi. But the thing is, right now it's off. You would think that if it was blinking, it would be on, but when it's blinking, it means it's off. So why not just? I don't get it. Just if it's off, just don't have anything blink at all, because you have the ability to turn the Wi-Fi option on or off. So. And it's probably also a slight battery drain. It has to be at least somewhat of a battery drain. Even if it's not a lot, it's still something of a battery drain. So for that reason too, I don't see why they have it. And lastly, like I said, any kind of blue blinking light is just more noticeable. And if you're trying to be conspicuous with these, then you're not going to want that feature. So yeah, the makeshift solution, again, just be put tape over it, but I think what the real solution needs to be is that the manufacturer needs to make this changeable in the settings. What else? So this is definitely easy. It's not super easy, but it's very possible to accidentally turn these on. So if you see right here is the on and off button, and it's nice because you don't have to fumble around and be like, oh, I'll turn it on. You just click it, hold it right here. But the problem is, look what happens if you close this one first, and then you close this one. So this basically lines up right with the on-off button. And so if you just touch it, it's not going to do anything. But if you press down with a decent amount of force, then it will turn the camera. It will press the button press hard enough to turn the camera on. So let's say that you close these up, and then you threw them in your backpack, right? And even though you didn't really push the button down, you threw them in your backpack, and then you threw a water bottle or something else down on top of your backpack, and the way that water bottle pushed hard enough, then all of a sudden, it turns on, and basically when you went to pull them out of your backpack an hour or two later, the battery would be dead because it was recording in your backpack when you didn't want it to. And I have had these turn on me accidentally at least once, but thankfully it was only for like 5 or 10 minutes. So basically I think makeshift solution is obviously just make sure every time that you always close the left handle first and then close the right handle. But even then, something else could kind of fall on top of it and press it and turn it on. So I think the real solution is the manufacturer just needs to put the button anywhere else. So you put it right here below it, or I think even better would be to put it right here along this groove at the bottom. That would just be my personal preference. But anyways, it is very possible to accidentally turn these on and waste all your battery. 4, so it just gets a little hot while recording. There's nothing you can really do about that. But it's not too hot, and all the other hidden camera products, that I've ever tested out also have that feature. 5, the battery, there's some indicator problems with the battery. Oh yeah, so in the instructions, they say that when you're charging the glasses, when it's finished charging, the red reset indicator light turns off. And the truth is that this is only true if you don't have the micro SD card in them. So if you take the micro SD card out, then the instructions are true. The reset light will turn off when it's fully charged. But if you leave most people wouldn't know that, and for me it took me a couple weeks to find out. I kept charging them, and I thought they'd be fully charged after 10 hours of charging, and the reset light still hadn't turned off. And I didn't know why, and eventually one day I happened to charge them without the micro SD card in there, and the reset without the micro SD card, and the red reset light indicator light did turn off. So basically, the instructions really need to make sure to explicitly tell you that when in them. Basically, just a side note that the battery on these things are friggin' awesome. I put these on record and filmed my iPhone timer, and it recorded for 1 hour and 44 minutes before the battery ran out on these babies. That was not with Wi-Fi, however, but still, that's amazing for a hidden camera product. That's friggin' amazing. 6. So the file sizes. So in the instructions, another issue with the instructions booklet is that it says here and here that you can. It says you can break them up into 25-minute segments. That's not true. You can either break them into 3-minute, 5-minute, or 8-minute segments. And what I mean by that is if you want to continuously record for like 20 minutes, then every 3 minutes it would create a new file. Every 5 minutes, or every 8 minutes, and every 8 minutes it would create a new file. And it would be nice to have a 125. It would be nice to have the option of having a 25-minute file not chopped up into smaller pieces. I know it would be really big, and it would take a lot to transfer that file onto your onto your desktop or whatever, but it would still be nice to have that option, and it's not in here. Yeah. And another thing is just I would like to see them have better lenses, or a wider variety of lenses. And another thing on top of that is that when you look at, I noticed that when I put on the camera glasses, there was, and then I looked at my iPhone, the screen was a little discolored. I don't know why that is, but for some reason the screen was a little discolored and it looked all kind of funky. And the other thing was that I would, again, like to see them offer some different kinds of lenses as optional add-ons to buy. I would definitely be interested in buying some more lenses, different color lenses. Another thing is that the micro SD card slot. So the instructions don't explicitly say this, and so there's a little. The micro SD card slot is based on a spring, so you push it in and you push it out, and it pops in and out. But I never dealt with any kind of micro SD card spring before, so I didn't know that. And the first time I put them in, when I wanted to get them out, I just tried to pull on them, and eventually they would come out. So for the first couple of weeks using them, every time I wanted to get the micro SD card out, I would actually get a pair of pliers and pull them out, because there's nothing in instructions that says that they're based on a spring mechanism. If I had known, if the instructions had said that, if I had known that, then it would have been a lot more convenient for me. Yeah, the instructions didn't explicitly say that. And finally, with aesthetics of these glasses, like I said, they have a really fairly natural look to them, but it's not super natural. It's a little squarish, rather than kind of sloping around the sides of your head. It's a little squarish, and they can still use some more room for improvement. Oh, and the other thing is that, I don't know if you can see right here, but there's these kind of awkward looking nose this nose bridge right here, and so I guess it sits a little more comfortably on your face. But like I said, I personally don't. I would like them to see them just push it in a little more so it's not sticking out so much. Now, like I said, the glasses are kind of somewhat squarish looking. Okay, and one or two other things which I forgot to make slides for, but one thing which I thought was a little deceptive in terms of their advertising was that they advertised 1080p at 60 frames per second, and I think they meant to say 1080p at 30 frames per second. I only saw that that misinformation, and I don't think it was even deliberate, but I only saw that misinformation stated on one of those two venues, either the Amazon product page or their personal product page, or their personal website's product page. Alright, so that's about it. Thanks.